This is Tuesday around 3 o'clock. Broadway and 57th Street. You can see beautiful blue sky, but everyone is at home. This is very close to Columbus Circle in Manhattan. Now at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday, everyone is around, except not today. And this is looking south down Broadway. Again, quiet, quiet, quiet. If you head down Broadway this way, you'll go all the way into Times Square. You can see around 3 o'clock, no traffic. This is looking north on Broadway, right toward 59th Street and Columbus Circle. Very, very limited traffic. It's about 2:48 in Columbus Circle. On a Tuesday, no one around. And we're very close to the 59th Street and Central Park entrance. No one. Almost 3 o'clock in Manhattan on a Tuesday. No one around. And I would say also no one wants to be around, but people are at home on this Tuesday. Here we can see more of the traffic in Columbus Circle, which is no traffic. You can see from the sign, 250, 56 degrees, beautiful blue sky, no one around. So for the intrepid souls that decide they want to walk around now, it's beautiful. And there are a lot of intrepid souls all around, whether they're on vacation, whether they're working around here, who knows? But there are a lot of people around here. Now, the one surprising thing I see is there's quite a few people in Columbus Circle that don't seem to be wearing masks. Maybe they're tourists, maybe they're visitors, like maybe they're working in the area, but like with all the requests from authorities to wear masks, a number of the people are not wearing masks, but that's okay. It's like for some people it works out. But the most amazing thing is seeing no one in Central Park. It's a free park to enjoy, but people just don't want to be out in the park. And here, even though with all these difficulties around here, CNN is broadcasting. People want to see what's going on, especially in Columbus Circle. And you can see Columbus Circle from a different vantage point. Here you have Central Park West, quiet, no traffic. And here they're about to broadcast to the whole world what's going on in New York, which is what people want to know. Checking his hair, making sure everything is okay, nothing in his teeth. That's right. Good. Almost ready to go. A nice, quiet Central Park on a Tuesday afternoon. Something you would normally never see because in the afternoon, the tourists are in town, especially in April. But that is not the case here. We're right on Central Park South or 59th Street. Another view of this quiet Tuesday in Central Park and in New York. You can see where we are, right next to all the tall buildings. Beautiful blue sky. Slightly cloudy, but a beautiful spring day with almost no one around. Except, as I mentioned earlier, you have these intrepid souls who, whether they want to run, walk, or just stay healthy, they are in Central Park. And you figure in Central Park, it's so big that you're not going to be near your neighbor. You're going to probably be at least 20 to 30 to 50 feet away from anyone around you. No one around here at all. "59th Street is usually very, very crowded, especially around 3 and 4 o'clock. No one. And this is 5th Avenue around 4 o'clock on Tuesday, April 14th. One thing you notice is no people, no cars. Throughout New York City, it's just like this, no one. Now, normally on a Tuesday, 5th Avenue should be packed with pedestrians, packed with tourists, packed with cars and buses, but the city has decided to reduce their schedule for buses. You can also see no taxis, because which taxi driver is going to be out looking for fares when there's no one walking around? And also, all the businesses are shut. Some businesses on 5th Avenue have actually taken to boarding up their stores because they're nervous that the expensive glass that's on the street side could be broken due to people who are upset. And this is looking south on 5th Avenue. To show you also, even when you're looking south, there's still no one around. So we can easily see here all the stores on 5th Avenue, they're closed. And that's what they want. There's no one around anyway, so there's no reason for them to be open. And there's no traffic around here, no pedestrians, well, no foot traffic, no vehicle traffic or vehicular traffic. And some stores, as I mentioned earlier, like Sephora here, have actually boarded up all the front area because they're nervous that someone might break a glass window, and those glass windows are very, very expensive to replace. You can see here Sephora, beautiful store, but they're just being precautious, or just taking their precautions and being a little precautious about how they're reacting to all the stores being closed, because obviously if no one is around here, not as many people are going to watch what's going on. You can see another store, Club Monaco, that, like the other store, Sephora, decided to board up the front area only to be cautious. You can see here we're very close to St. Patrick's Cathedral and Rockefeller Center. Nothing going on. Normally this is a very, very highly trafficked area, but nothing. You can see here Rockefeller Center is even affected by a lack of people coming around. They pretty much closed off Rockefeller Center. A lot of the businesses and the offices have asked people to stay at home. You can see a barricade here between 5th Avenue and Rockefeller Center. All around Rockefeller Center there's that barricade asking people politely to please stay out of Rockefeller Center. There are no stores, nothing to see, everything is like very, very quiet. It's the whole city that has gotten very quiet. And you look, Fifth Avenue, no one. No one around except other people taking pictures, taking videos of what's going on. It's always interesting seeing all this. And you can see, even on the sidewalks, there's no one. St. Patrick's Cathedral, been around for over 100 years. It'll be around much longer than that too. Right now, for all this stay-at-home business is past us, people will still be going to St. Patrick's. And here we have 50th Street, cutting right through Rockefeller Center. You can see no one, no cars, nothing. Even continuing on to looking toward the east side of 50th Street, nothing. And from 52nd and 5th Avenue, just another quick view, just to show how quiet everything is. Here you have the beautiful Versace store, empty. They ended up taking everything out of it just to prevent people from wanting to take something. Our famous Cartier store in New York. You can see all the beautiful buildings around here. All the stores are closed. Some stores even decided just to pack up. They decided it's just not worth their effort to stay anymore on Fifth Avenue. But those are few and far between because Fifth Avenue is a very, very strong street. But all of this is going to change how retail is looked at and how people are going to be shopping, how people are going to be interacting with other people in the next 2, 3, 5 years. It'll probably even change the attitude toward the commercial buildings, office buildings, stores. For example, rhetorically speaking, does someone really need to be in the office? Can an office have a certain percentage of their people working from home just to be prepared for the next time when you have to have people home? So I could see what'll happen is a number of businesses are going to say, look, we need 10% of our people working from home at any given time because we want to make sure that everyone's ready in case everyone has to be home. So I can see them doing that on a rotating basis, say 10% every month need to work from home. And that way, everyone is always prepared to work from home. I know it's uncomfortable for some people, but I think companies are going to say we need to do that to prepare for the next dilemma that we have. Also, think of it in another way, how it will allow desk sharing. You know, if you have your laptop and you have your desk, so if you have only 90% of the people in the office, what does that mean? That means that you need 10% less space. So that actually saves money. Now, the downside is less interaction with your bosses, less interaction with your colleagues. That's a problem too, because when you want that promotion, you want to be able to show your boss how hard you're working. And if your boss doesn't see you, well, you know what? You're not as relevant as the other people who the boss sees all the time. So this is going to present an interesting dilemma, but you can bet that after all this is said and done, there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to take place. And a lot of people are going to say, look, I prefer to shop online. Now that raises its own dilemma, because if the internet has a problem, what do? Then you're stuck. Or if the transportation systems get snarled up, you're stuck. You know, like your shipments aren't going to arrive. So very, very interesting what's going to happen And so they're still trying to figure this out. But I'm sure for a lot of the retail stores, there's going to be a big rethinking of how they do things. Online shopping is going to become much, much more important. And this is where Amazon really benefits from what's going on right now. It shows you the value of scalability, which Amazon and other online retailers have. But then logistics are going to be important. Warehouse space, another space. This is where not all buildings and brick and mortar is going to be bad, because you're going to need warehouse space, space for logistics. So even with shipping online, you need that. So that's still there. It's just that the office buildings, the retail stores, and the real estate investment trusts now are going to lose some luster, because people are going to say, do we really need to value these buildings as highly as we value them? So it's going to be a domino effect. This is where it's going to be very, very interesting. And here from 53rd and 5th Avenue, we see everything, all the action. And again, the thing to note is all the stores being closed and no one around here, no one walking, nothing. Just really, really quiet in New York on this Tuesday, as it should be. You can see no one around here. And here we're right at 54th and 5th Avenue, just to kind of see what's going on. There's not going to be anyone around here. Now the traffic is heading from the north to the south. So all the cars are going south right now on 5th Avenue. Here at 56th and 5th Avenue, you can see some of the stores that have been affected. This is one of the areas that always has the best stores, but now they're completely empty. I'm sure part of it is an ending of a lease, and then part of it is just not wanting to have retail on 5th Avenue right now, just because it's not really necessary. Why spend super high premiums, especially when it's closed right now? So probably a lease was kind of coming due, and Probably they were rethinking everything, and they just decided, look, we don't need these stores. So they decided to not have the stores here right now. Here we have 57th Street. No one around. This is looking east. And then this is looking west on 57th Street. It's about 4:45 on Tuesday in the afternoon. You can see no one. At 59th Street and 5th Avenue, normally this is packed. This is right next to the Apple store in the General Motors building. Normally there's a crowd around here. No one. And they pretty much shut the store down, but there's security always watching because you have to watch the General Motors building, one of the preeminent buildings in Manhattan. So you have police and security around here all the time. But then you just Now this is the Plaza Hotel, famous for its most recent renovation, and that is Central Park. Right at the corner of Central Park, 59th Street and 5th Avenue. But you can see no one. That's the key thing. No cars, no people. Here we are just at the corner of 59th Street and 5th Avenue. All the luxury apartment buildings right on 5th Avenue. The who's who of the world have their apartments in this area of 5th Avenue. Just idyllic. And that's Central Park. And this is Central Park South. That's looking north on 5th Avenue. And then if we want to look east on 59th Street, we see that. And then this is the General Motors building here. A very expensive building to be in, but very prestigious. And right below the plaza is the Apple store, and it extends into the building also. Here we have this view of the pond in Central Park. But again, the key point here is that there's no one around. Now, I feel sorry for the ducks and the other animals that are here. They're used to humans feeding them. Though the humans, the tourists and the residents of New York are not supposed to do that, they still do that. And so a lot of the squirrels and the pigeons get very spoiled. But you can see here, for example, there's one person feeding some of the birds, feeling sorry for them because there's no one around to help out feed them. Here we have just another view of the pond. Again, very, very few people for a Tuesday at around 5 o'clock. And just to put it all into perspective, you can see Central Park South here and all the buildings, but the nature just intrudes on the cosmopolitan lifestyle of New York. And a pond and ducks, geese, turtles, fish. But a very nice contrast to all the buildings and the roads that are around here. And Fifth Avenue is just over those trees. You can see all the huge buildings there. That's Fifth Avenue from 59th Street to 110th Street. So about 51 blocks. Or about 51 blocks, yes. We are at 6th Avenue and 59th Street, or Central Park South, just to show a further indication of nobody. It's about 5 o'clock on Tuesday, April 14th. Nobody. Right at the edge of Central Park. Just a few people walking for exercise or fresh air. But this is the way New York is right now. A normally busy 59th Street or Central Park South, no traffic. Typically, in the past, during a weekday, it would be as fast to take a taxi from 5th Avenue and 59th Street to 8th Avenue and 59th Street. But not today. Take a taxi if you can find one. It's going to go right to where you want to go. And this is 6th Avenue looking south. We're just taking a look to see how the traffic is for all the people out there who might be curious. And you can see in the distance Radio City Music Hall. So typically in New York, 6th Avenue is used to go north, 5th Avenue is used to go south. So it's kind of like a thoroughfare. That's why typically it's very, very busy on 6th Avenue on a weekday going north, and it's very, very busy on 5th Avenue going south. But here, not a problem. No traffic on 6th Avenue. Even on 59th Street, no traffic.